Have you ever read a chapter only to realize that most of it has already faded from your memory? Imagine if you could truly retain every important detail from your textbooks and lectures. In today's video, I'm sharing 5 science-backed strategies to help you remember everything you read. Whether you're studying for exams or just looking to boost your retention, these techniques will transform the way you learn. Before we jump into the techniques, let's quickly explore how memory works. When you read, your brain goes through 3 key steps: encoding, where information is initially registered; consolidation, where it's stored; and retrieval, where you recall that information later. Research tells us that active engagement during reading, like asking questions or summarizing, significantly enhances these processes. In short, the more you work with the material, the better you remember it. The first technique is the SQ3R method, a time-tested reading strategy that transforms passive reading into active learning. Here's how it works. Survey. Quickly skim the chapter. Look at headings, subheadings, bold text, and summaries to get an overall sense of the material. Question. Formulate questions about what you expect to learn. For example, if you're reading about the water cycle, ask, "How does evaporation work?" Read the material actively, seeking answers to your questions. Recite. After reading a section, pause and recite key points out loud or in writing. Review. Finally, go back over your notes and summaries to reinforce what you've learned. Using SQ3R turns reading into an interactive process, ensuring that the information is deeply encoded in your memory. Next, let's talk about active recall combined with spaced repetition, a powerhouse for long-term retention. Instead of just rereading your notes, challenge your brain to retrieve the information. Create flashcards with questions on one side and answers on the other, and test yourself repeatedly. Research shows that actively recalling information forces your brain to retrieve and strengthen the memory. And by spacing out your review sessions, say, testing yourself 1 day later, then 3 days, then a week, you reinforce those memories over time. This technique is especially effective for subjects that require detailed recall, such as vocabulary, historical dates, or scientific concepts. Technique number 3 is the Feynman technique, named after the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman. The idea is simple. If you truly understand something, you should be able to explain it in plain language. After reading a section, try to teach the concept as if you're explaining it to a friend or even a child. As you do this, you'll quickly identify any gaps in your understanding. Then, go back to your source material to fill in those gaps. And finally, simplify your explanation until it's crystal clear. This method not only reinforces your memory, but also deepens your understanding of the subject. Now, let's explore a technique that might sound a bit like magic: the memory palace, or method of loci. This strategy involves associating pieces of information with specific locations in a familiar place. Imagine walking through your house and placing a key concept from your reading on your front door, another in the kitchen, and so on. Later, when you need to recall the information, you simply walk through your memory palace and retrieve each item. This method leverages your brain's natural spatial memory and has been proven to enhance recall dramatically. Our final technique combines visualization with elaborative interrogation. As you read, visualize the concepts in your mind as vividly as possible. Create mental images that link to what you're learning. Then, challenge yourself by asking why questions. Why does this process work? How does it connect to what I already know? This method forces you to create deeper connections between ideas, which leads to more robust memory retention. Let's quickly recap the 5 powerful strategies we covered today. The SQ3R method, active recall and spaced repetition, the Feynman technique, the memory palace, visualization, and elaborative interrogation. By incorporating these research-backed techniques into your study routine, you'll be well on your way to remembering everything you read and acing your exams. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment with your favorite strategy, and don't forget to subscribe for more actionable study hacks. Thanks for watching,